The default Sencha Touch theme looks great, but it's really easy to customize it to look however you want it to. As well as being able to use the features we already know from CSS3, we can add new icons or completely change the color scheme with only a couple of lines of Sass code. We'll be using this demo application as a showcase. You can find the source code on GitHub. Here's what the app looks like with the default style sheet. It looks more or less alright, but note that there are a couple of missing icons. We'll fix these shortly, but first we have to find out how to compile our style sheet. The Sencha Touch theme isn't built with plain CSS. It uses the Sass language, which is a CSS preprocessor. Sass looks similar to CSS, but it has more power, as we'll soon see. Sencha Touch also uses another technology called Compass, which is a framework for authoring CSS themes using Sass. In order to compile Sencha Touch theme, we have to create two files. An SCSS file, which is where we'll write our own custom styles, and a Compass configuration file. Let's start by creating a directory called styles. Then inside that, we'll create the config.rb file. We can paste into it these lines. In the Touch SDK, if we drill down through the resources, themes, templates, and project directories, we'll find a file called senchatouch.scss. We'll copy this and use it as the starting point for our theme by pasting it into our default theme.scss file. Now we're ready to compile our style sheet. Let's switch to the command line and change into the styles directory. Watch what happens when we run the command compass compile. Now, if we look in the parent directory, we should find a new default theme CSS file. It's fully commented and annotated, which is ideal during development. Later, we'll see how to compress the CSS to make it suitable for a production environment. Having to run the compass compile command every time we change our theme isn't ideal. Luckily, Compass comes with another command that watches for changes to a file and automatically recompiles the CSS each time a Sass file is saved. Now, if we add a rule to our default theme Sass file, then save it, Compass detects the change. After a short wait, it overwrites the default theme CSS file. And if we look inside, we'll see that our new rule is right there at the top of the file. We'll just leave the Compass watch command running in the background for the rest of this tutorial. From now on, each time that we save a change to the SCSS file, remember that the Compass is automatically recompiling the style sheet for us. Now let's start customizing our theme. The first thing that you need to know about the SCSS file format is that you can write regular CSS and it will work just fine. Here we have a custom component that renders a Twitter timeline. It's unstyled. Now let's just paste a few regular CSS rules into our Sass file. When we refresh the page, the styles apply just as you would expect. Let me just show you one of the nice features of Sass. In regular CSS, we often have to repeat ourselves by writing out the same selectors for multiple rules. But in Sass, we can actually nest rules and the inner selectors extend from their parents. So this Sass code produces the same result as this CSS. It's a powerful feature of Sass, but use it responsibly. Sencha Touch comes bundled with over 300 beautiful icons designed by Drew Wilson. Take a look inside the Sencha Touch package and navigate through resources, themes, images, default, pictos to find them. We can use any of these icons in our theme. In this panel, we have a toolbar with 20 icons in it. These are included in the Sencha Touch theme by default. But note that this application contains a few buttons that don't have images. We can add an icon using the Pictos icon mask mixin. That's all it takes. Refresh the page, and now our buttons have the proper icons. Just to show you how clever this stuff is, let's have a look inside the compiled style sheet. We'll search for the name of one of the icons we just added so we can find the generated rules. And there we go. The image has been embedded right into the style sheet using base64 encoding. The Sencha Touch theme makes clever use of Sass variables. In the default theme, dark blue is used for the toolbars, and a lighter blue is used to highlight active items, such as the current tab or the selected item in a list. We can change each of these with a single line of code. Let's see what happens if we set the base color to black and the active color to pink. Just like that, the whole theme is transformed at once. It's not just the color scheme that can be changed this easily. You see how these toolbars have a gentle gradient from top to bottom? We can also tweak the appearance of that using the base gradient variable. The default value is matte. Let's change it to glossy and see how it looks. Our toolbars now have this shiny appearance. This demo app includes a theme switcher with 3 different style sheets. Browse the source code and you'll see that the light and dark themes were created with only a handful of changes from the default, and yet they look completely different. You'll find a comprehensive resource on theming in the Sencha Touch documentation. If you want to know more about a particular Sass variable or mixin, just type its name into the search box. You can browse the global CSS listing for more variables and mixins. Also, some components can be selectively included or customized using mixins and variables. In this demo app, pressing the timer icon shows the loading mask. Suppose that we wanted to change the appearance of it. In the documentation, we can look up load mask and open the page. At the top, alongside listings for configuration, events, and so on, we also have references for CSS variables and mixins. Let's try adding this mixin to our theme. Recompile the theme and refresh the page. Now, when we show the load mask, it includes a spinner. This doesn't use an animated GIF, it's a pure CSS animation, and that means we can change its color if we like, by tweaking the load spinner color variable. Let's try changing the spinner to solid black. Recompile and refresh, and there it is. I encourage you to explore the Sencha Touch documentation and look for more ways to customize your theme. We've only scratched the surface in this tutorial. For the purposes of development, it's useful being able to read the generated CSS. But when deploying our theme into production, we should really minify the CSS. With Compass, it couldn't be easier. Let's open up the config.rb file again. We'll change the output style to compressed and the environment to production. The Compass watch script won't detect this change, so let's kill it and run the Compass compile command by hand. Now, if we look inside the compiled CSS themes, we'll find that they are compressed and ready for production. If we're really looking to reduce the file size of our CSS themes, we can go even further. The default theme contains styles for most of the Sencha Touch components, but we might not be using all of them in our application. For example, this app doesn't contain any forms or carousels, so we could safely remove these styles from our theme. This will produce a smaller style sheet without changing the appearance of our app. We can also create a smaller style sheet by removing the default icon set. This single line of code does the trick. If we refresh the page, you'll see that we now have white squares where the icons were. We could then hand-pick only the icons that we actually use in the application, keeping our style sheet lean.